Section 6.2, example 1, sketching the graph of an exponential function of the form f of x is equal to b raised to the power x. Sketch the graph of f of x is equal to 0.25. State the domain, range, and asymptote. So first thing we're going to do is kind of find, well, let's start with just picking out a couple of points and seeing where they land. So f of x is equal to 0.25 raised to the power x. Let's pick f of -2, f of -1, f of 0, 1, and 2. Just to see where these points get us and see if there's any other comparisons that we could make. Let's get our calculator. All right, so 0.25, we're raising that to the power of first -2. That gives us 16. And again, 0.25 raised to the power of -1. That's 4. 0.25 raised to the power 0. That's 1. 0.25 raised to the power 1. Easy, we already knew that one. 0.25. And lastly, 0.25 raised to the power 2. 0.0625. And this gives us the tree x and then f of x. X is here -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. F of x goes 16, 4, 1, 0.25, 0.0625. And now let's try to graph these. So when x is -2, y is 16. Let's try to conserve room. So we'll say 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. All right, so -2 was at 16. -1 was at 4. 0 was at 1. 1 was at 0.25. Let's see if we could zoom in super close because 2 was at 0.625. And our graph went from having really, really high numbers to really, really low numbers. And as we keep going further and further right, we're going to get really, really close to 0. We actually never touch 0. The numbers just start getting really, really, really small. But in this case, they're not going to cross that. So here we actually have a horizontal asymptote. So numbers are again getting really, really close to y equals 0, but they're not actually crossing, very similar to our radical functions. So now that we have that, let's see what our domain is. Our range. And lastly, our asymptote. So domain, we are able to plug in any number that we want. So domain, even though these numbers look like they're only going up, and it might look like some sort of vertical asymptote, we don't. These numbers are actually going infinitely this way and exponentially this way. They take off a lot faster, but we still have that -infinity to infinity domain. Our range, though, So I did mention that we get really, really close to zero, but we don't actually cross it. So here our asymptote prevents us from crossing from zero. So we go from zero all the way up to infinity. As we start going up and up and up exponentially, as you could see here. And our asymptote, we have y equals 0. And that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, bye.